Начинаем стрим. Так, ну, в общем, начал я вот сюжетку новую проходить. Там не сюжет, вернее. Не совсем так. Квест Арлекино. Вот. Так. YouTube проверял. Так, ну, в общем, чего? Они спрятали какую-то девчонку, которая вроде как призрак, и скрывает ее от Арлекино. И сейчас, короче, нас познакомили с домом очага. Там все крайне странные персонажи. В общем, короче, убийцы, соответственно. Маленькие дети убийцы, вот так вот. Ну и сейчас Лени будет отчитывать временно за то, что он прятал целых 2 недели девочку фантома. Девочку фантома, да. От Арлекино. Что, блин, охренительно странно. Ну, короче, давайте смотреть. Там.
Oh, wait a minute, Fremine. You're not crying, are you? Is everything all right?
Everything's fine. Thanks for asking.
Well, we're all friends
Да, он
here, right?
плачет, потому что
We've
его
been through so
скоро
much together. So
вздернут.
if there's anything we
Походу.
can do to help, just say the word.
It's just a small family dispute. It's not something our guests should trouble themselves with. In fact,
What are you getting at, Traveler?
when guests are around, families are often on their best behavior. And any disputes are less likely to escalate. I just... Thank you. I was really hoping to keep you out of it. But even if I could think of some other reason to...
Me too.
Well, back to the matter at hand then. If we don't plan on handing Clairvy over to Father, then our only other option is to solve the mystery of her identity before Father is able to track her down. That means finding out where she came from and what she's doing here. Then we can send her on her merry way and pretend like none of this ever happened.
I've tried that already.
And?
And nothing. I tried taking her somewhere really far away, but after some time, she just reappeared. She even came with us all the way to Poisson. It seems like wherever the house is, she follows.
I don't know much about spirits. Do you two have any ideas?
Let's see here. Paimon remembers hearing something like, if you fulfill a spirit's last wish before they died, they'll let go of whatever's keeping them here and return to the ley lines.
Типа, короче, Пайман такая невзначай знает, как помочь духам. Именно не куда-то в подземный мир там уходит, а именно вот в артерии земли. Ну, то есть она знает суть мироздания.
Oh, it's just that Paimon doesn't really remember where she heard that, so it's not guaranteed to work or anything.
Well, sounds like it's worth a shot. Guess that means we should go ask her about her wish. But first, Fremine, I need you to promise me something.
What is it?
I need you to promise me that this will stay between the two of us. We're the masterminds behind this whole thing. No one else gets...
Of course.
All right. Then let's seal the promise just like when we were kids. Fist bump on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I swear.
3 кулака. Вот кто-то лишний.
Whoa!
Lynette!
Какого хрена происходит?
But what a surprise! What brings you here, dear sister? And, when exactly did you get here?
You're an idiot, brother. And you too, Fremine. You 3, Traveler. And you 4, Paimon.
Wait, what did we do?
I've seen Clairvy around the House of the Hearth before. I hadn't seen her in Poisson, so I figured she must not have come with us. But it turns out, you were just hiding her.
Угу. Идиоты, почему? Потому что нас всех 4 четвертуют к чертям.
I heard you talking about your plan. Rather than steering clear of the situation, I'd rather fully join in. If you don't agree, I'll have no choice but to report everything back to Father. Simple as that.
You're not giving us much wiggle room here, Lynette. Well, I guess we're all in this together then. After we talk to Clairvy, we'll figure out our next move. There's no time to lose.
Да, время не ждет. Надо прокачивать Арлекино.
I'm full. Thank you for bringing me this food, you guys. She said she's full, but the food doesn't look like it's even been touched.
That's right. Based on what I've been able to observe, it doesn't seem like Clairvy can interact. Still, when she's presented with food, she'll always linger around it for a good little while.
Does she know that she has already passed away?
I've tried to ask her, but she didn't answer. My guess is that she's just...
Clairvy, if you've got some time, I'd like to ask you...
Sure. Oh, another new friend.
Hello.
Clairvy, how did you join the House of the Hearth?
Huh? Isn't it the same? The knave brings you here and then you can't leave.
It's just that your name, it's not on the roster.
The roster? Oh, I get it now. I think there might be some things you don't know about this. The people in charge, they're not as nice as they look. They say they keep a roster, but it's not complete. There are a lot of people who aren't on it, and never will be. In this house, some people are family, and other people are just test subjects. Those kinds of people aren't ever going to get a place on the roster, unless it's the roster of people who've been executed. Wait, does that mean the knave...
Is there anyone that can vouch for you?
Perry. She's my best friend. She's the only one I trust in this place.
Have either of you heard of that name before?
No.
Me neither.
Clairvy, Perry. Neither of those names are on the roster. But it seems like she's telling the truth. Either that, or this kid's already got a bag of tricks bigger than mine. Maybe we should try a different approach. Clairvy, do you have a wish?
A wish?
It can be anything you want. Just imagine. It's your birthday, you're blowing out the candles, and your wish is...
To go outside. Where the sun can find me.
That's it? Well, that sounds easy enough.
The darkness in the house runs deeper than you can imagine. No one can get out alive.
Это какое-то пространство под домом очага, которое разбомбило Арлекино. Я правильно понимаю?
Okay, time to divide and conquer. Listen up. I've got a plan. I'll try and find a way to use basic illusory magic to take Clairvy outside and bring her somewhere with sunlight. Lynette, try and find the list of executions that Clairvy was talking about, and see if her name is on it. Fremine, you stay in Poisson. We can't be the only ones who've had run-ins with Clairvy. I need you to collect intel on everything she's said and done.
Understood.
I'll try my best.
What about us? What should we do?
I really appreciate your willingness to help, but this is a family matter. I don't want to drag you in too deep. It's too risky.
Нет уж.
Let me think. Since Father considers you to be guests,
Мы уже в деле.
maybe you could stick by her side for a little while. You don't need to do anything except keep up some nice, casual conversation.
Ah, Paimon gets it. You want us to distract her.
I'll give you a magic bird. If Father suspects something, all you need to do is release it when she's not looking, and it'll alert me that something's wrong. Of course, that's only as a last resort. If Father doesn't seem to notice us, there's no need to make contact. We'll reconvene here tonight after all's said and done. If the worst-case scenario happens and we're discovered, just tell Father everything. We're not going to let our guests get punished for our own actions. That's where we draw the line. You too. Okay, this is where we part. Father should be at the... I really hope this goes well. No, it has to go well.
Так, надо добираться до босса, который, с помощью которого я бы прокачал себе Арлекино.
Ad Astra. Thank you for Ad Astra.
Так, а смолу я хотел потратить по месту. Никуда попало. Потестить, что ли, немножко.
Let me scrub. Roll, roll, roll.
Don't be scared. It's the knave and child. Hey, aren't you supposed to be in Snezhnaya recuperating? What are you still doing in Fun?
Oh, it's you two. I didn't expect to run into you here. I was unconscious for quite a while after the fight in the Primordial Sea. After I woke up, I realized I was being taken. I couldn't have that now, could I? Not when I've still got unfinished business here in Fontaine. So, I mustered up all my strength and made the journey back.
What sort of unfinished business are we talking?
It has to do with Skirk, my master. I really wanted to meet up with her, but by the time I still have so many questions for her. Without any other leads, all I could do was ask the knave to help me track her down. She must have left behind some traces from her time in Fontaine.
Oh, okay. So, have you found any clues?
Unfortunately, no. While the House of the Hearth is adept at collecting all manner of intelligence, certain existences can still manage to escape our purview.
Basically, unless Master feels there's a need to meet with me, she's not going to be. But that problem has an easy fix. I just need to become stronger, and then.
Paimon thinks you should focus on getting better first.
The worst of it is over. It's all thanks to that one kid from the House of the Hearth. Elwar, I think her name was. She gave me a bunch of random potions to drink. They didn't go down easy, let me tell you. Pain and chills all over. But they really did help speed up my recovery. And that's good, because it looks like I really do have to head back this time. The old man's been putting the pressure on me. He sent someone to tell me I'm needed for some sort of project.
Project Stuja?
Yeah, that's the one.
Project
I heard
Stuja.
Raiders involved too. I'm not looking forward to having to listen to all his monologuing, that's for sure. Hey, maybe you could think of a way for me to stay in Fontaine for a little longer. Helping Linny and the others brush up on their fighting skills would be far more interesting. If you and I could spar, that would be even better. I've been waiting for a chance to see you go all out.
And what a sweet little daydream that is. But I also have a role to play in all this. I'll be leaving Fontaine shortly as well. Besides, considering how little they see fit to step outside the homeland, being called on to return to Snezhnaya by such illustrious dignitaries, what a great honor. Wouldn't you agree?
One I could do without, I'd say.
Is it just Paimon? Or does it kind of seem like they're...
So, dear guests of the House of the Hearth, to what do I owe the visit?
Well, we just... Right! We're super close to Linny and the others, but we still don't know much about you!
Is that so? Introductions have already been made, have they not?
Oh, well, you see? There's only so much you can learn about someone from a short introduction. At least tell us something a little extra.
Good question. I'd also like to know.
The fact that you have to ask tells me our intelligence work has been quite successful. Telling you the answer to that question would only serve to undermine that success. And we can't have that. Now, can
Spoken like a true diplomat. That was some expert sidestepping.
Well, if there's nothing else, I think I'll take my leave. I still have a small matter to resolve at home.
Wait, don't go!
I'd also like to hear the answer to this. I've met some of the members of your organization, and they all seemed like really good kids. They actually reminded me of Tonya and Tusser. Which, by the way, if you ever betray them, I'm just letting you know, I won't let you off easy.
And why would I betray them?
Well, you've already betrayed the House of the Hearth once, haven't you? At least, that's what I heard. Okay, I admit. That's just what the old man told me. The rooster, I mean.
Wait, did you really do something bad to those kids?
Never mind what I've done. I'm more curious as to what the mighty rooster had to say. Care to enlighten me?
Ah, well, nothing much. Just some stuff about you taking out many other members of the House of the Hearth, and even going so far to attack your own family.
I see.
Oh, based on your reaction,
Hardly. I don't appreciate his particular turns of phrase, but I suppose he didn't say anything untrue. Although, it would be more accurate to say that there is a certain level of prejudice involved, but I don't intend to clear that up just yet. Prejudice has a funny way of concealing the Call yourself a Fontanian, for example, and people will assume all sorts of things, when the real truth is that this is simply the land where I was raised.
Huh? You're not actually from Fontaine? But then why did you try to help out with the prophecy and everything?
I was trying to protect the children born in Fontaine. Claiming that I myself was a Fontanian simply made it easier to operate. People would hardly suspect a fellow Fontanian of having any ulterior motives. Who wouldn't want to save their homeland after all? The primordial sea wouldn't have any effect on me, but it would have caused great harm to the House of the Hearth. Well, you wanted extra information.
So, you stayed in Fontaine for the kids. I guess I was wrong to believe you'd betray them. Apologies. Looks like I was holding on to some prejudices myself.
Good. Like I said, I like it when others have misconceptions of me.
Actually, while I was recuperating at the House of the Hearth, there was something else that really caught my attention. I heard that members always resolve disputes and arguments with a friendly spar, and the loser has to back down. Seems pretty cool if you ask me. Would also give them plenty of opportunities to hone their skills.
Well, that's only a recent development. In the past, such spars weren't nearly so friendly. The losing party would lose everything, including their luck.
They were that high stakes? Whew, at least that's not a thing anymore.
Well, the current atmosphere's not half bad. I'm a bit jealous, actually. You've got so many family members around you, and you even get to live with them.
Having a lot of family around means dealing with a considerable amount of bickering and scheming. Once Tonya and Tusser enter their rebellious phase, I'm sure you'll understand. Just imagine. Tusser becomes obsessed with plucking out strands from the rooster's mustache, or Tonya decides to dye her hair 42 different colors.
Okay. I get the picture. Well, would you look at the time? I should probably get going. Traveler, Paimon, I'm not sure where our paths will cross next, but the next time we run into each other, we should definitely try and find some time to spar.
Again, maybe this is a conversation we can have when you look less like you're gonna kill him.
All right. Well, thanks for everything, Arлекино.
No thanks necessary. You also played a part in obtaining the Gnosis. I would say we can call ourselves even.
I like the sound of that. Well, I'm off. See you all some other time.
We should probably get going too.
Oh? You want me to leave so soon?
Oh,
I'm rather enjoying the evening breeze. If you don't mind, I think I'll stick around for a bit. I have some things to think about. Apologies for not attending to you like a proper host. Please forgive this slight. I do hope you'll have a pleasant stay.
we managed to keep her distracted until nightfall. Good thing Child was there to keep the conversation going. You don't think she suspected anything, do you? Oh, I wonder if Liddy ran into any issues. Let's hurry back and see how everything went.
Written in the stars!
Commit to memory. Take yourselves home.
Laid bare. Witness my rise. This is where you fall.
Scry the sky.
Winnie, how did everything go?
Well, long story short, we ran into a small issue. Everything was fine at first. She followed me up to the surface just like I told her. But as I led her out of the shadows and into the sunlight, she vanished. I turned around, and there she was, standing at the edge of the shadows, silently watching me.
Huh. Maybe she's afraid of sunlight, or... No, it wouldn't be her wish if that were the case. Well, we could always try pushing her into it. Oh, true.
I've pretty much tried it all already. Nothing worked. Eventually, the sun went down, so all I could do was bring her back here. How did it go with you?
Good. I've got the list. It's right here.
Really? Well, what are we waiting for? Let's take a look!
Список смертников.
Oh, that's a lot of pages. Oh, it's gonna take forever to get through it all.
Each
Капец.
take a section. Here.
La Pouillade, L'Endroit, Chambert.
Хоррор. Хоррор.
Oh, yikes. That Aurora guy has a huge scar on his face. He's kinda giving Paimon the creeps.
Ah, I've met him before. The scar is from an injury he received during a mission. I still remember him joking with me about it. He said any future lover would take one look at him and then lose.
Did he say anything else?
Well, I asked if there was someone he was interested in. He said no, and that's where our conversation ended. It was only later that I learned he really did have someone he liked. He risked everything to escape so he could be with her, but it didn't work. One day, Father asked to see him.
Wait, so that means...
It may seem cruel, but it's just one of the rules of the house. Betrayal is not to be taken lightly. We know too many secrets to come and go as we please. So, if you... Her name's not here, huh? Well, that's not too surprising. It doesn't seem like this list is complete. It only can... Let's shift our attention then. Fremine, were you able to find anything out? Fremine...
Sorry. I managed to talk to quite a few people, but I couldn't help but notice that the atmosphere in the house was a little...
Strange.
Yeah, I mean, I know there have been arguments in the past. Times when people haven't gotten along.
Oh, those are two of the people that we met while delivering supplies. Paimon can see how they might not get along.
That's to be expected, actually. Father brought us all here, shared her knowledge with us, taught us how to fight. That's one thing we all share. But that's also where the similarities end. Not all of us feel the same desire to stay here. As members of the House of the Hearth, we're also considered part of the Fatui. And to a lot of people, that's an identity they... Certain members get older and realize they want something else for themselves. But considering the rules of the house, most people would never say that out loud. People like Chaplot and Foltz are loyal to Father and her vision. They're proud to be part of the Fatui. Filial and Nantoy, on the other hand, well, they aren't...
These kinds of conflicts have always been there. It's not like Father is in the dark about any of this.
Well, that's true. But it just feels like things have gotten worse lately. Filial and the others, it seemed like they were meeting in secret. I can't say for sure, but I think they've met Clairvy.
You think she's been inciting them to act?
No, not exactly. But I wouldn't be surprised if she said something to them about the darkness. She's told me about it before. Experiments being run on children. People being used as pawns on the battlefield without so much as the strength to survive.
And they just believed all that? Without an...
Clairvy's words probably gave them the excuse they were looking for. Whether they actually...
This is all because of Project Stuja, isn't it?
Whoa. Hold on a second. What's this Project Stuja all about, huh? This is...
Sorry, but I'm not sure of the details either. I only know what Father has told us, which is that it's something the Rooster and Regrader have been working on together. Apparently, it has to do with the Fatui's strategic plan for the future. Because the House of the Hearth was so successful in obtaining the Gnosis, we now have the honor of playing a key role in Project Stuja.
Wait, but isn't that a good...
Key role is just another way of saying dangerous role. To us, the whole thing is an inconvenience. Father thinks so too, but she's in no position to refuse. Their plan isn't exactly unreasonable, and they've been funneling the house a lot of funding. It's just that we'll lose a lot of members in the process. Participating in the plan, it's an honor in name only. What they're really trying to do is subdue us. The existence of an intelligence organization outside their control makes them feel...
Okay, super complicated top secret Fatui business aside, what does all of this have to do with the conflicts you were talking about earlier?
External pressure has a way of exacerbating internal strife. You can't overlook the power of fear either. People are afraid of dying, and that fear is often the impetus for a lot of stupid decisions. I thought resolving the Clairvy situation would make everything go back to normal. But it looks like things are more complicated than I thought. If we leave Filiol and the others to their own devices, sooner or later, Father will be...
We can only focus on one situation at a time, brother.
You're right. Even if we confront Filial and the others, it won't do any good. It might even make matters worse. We should focus on Clairvy for now. Well, it's getting late. We should head back and get some rest. Lynette, you stick with me this time. Fremine, keep a close eye on Filial and the others. Make sure they don't do anything they'll regret. Good work today, everyone. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, Paimon was like, hey, you don't think the knave will be too angry with Lenny and everyone if she's even scary when she smiles. If she were to actually get angry... Ooh, you have to protect Paimon if that happens, okay, Traveler? Trust his effort, Traveler. Look! Look over there! Quick! Let's catch up with her before anyone sees! Over there!
Transfixed!
Oh, where is she going? Oh, if someone sees her, we're toast! Oh, look! She stopped! Clairvy!
Shh. I opened the window while no one was looking. Look how pretty the outside is. If only I could have more than this. You probably think I'm being silly, huh? all this hopeless resisting. It's better to dream of what I could have than try to make it a reality, right?
Please, help us get on the same page here, Clary. We need you to tell us what you know. Can you do that?
Sure. Although, after you hear all this, everyone in this family is nothing more than a tool. Something to be used and exploited. As long as you're useful, you get to stick around. Lose your value, and you're handed over to the doctor, experimented on, and given a fate worse than death.
You're saying the knave did all that? It's just, that doesn't seem like something she would do. She's scary and all, but it seems like even she has lines she wouldn't cross.
I knew you wouldn't believe me. Everyone thinks she's a good person. They all think of her like a real mother.
Mother?
But she doesn't deserve that title. She's disgraced it and tarnished it. And if I had things my way, I'd never see her again. If only Perry were here, she'd understand.
Harry. There also, Paimon's getting a strange feeling. It almost feels like she's not really here with us. Paimon can't tell if she's actually talking to us or if she's mistaken us for someone else. Well, in any case, it seems like she really needs someone to talk to. We should keep her company for a little longer. She looks so young. But it seems like she's been through a lot.
It's getting windy. Ooh, look at the moon. Isn't it pretty? Hey, wanna hear a secret? I heard that if you look up at the night sky in Snezhnaya, you can see the aurora. It's supposed Perry and I promised each other that once we're older, we're gonna go see it together. But I can't find her. I'm worried she's also been... No, that wouldn't happen to her. She's special. Mother likes her a lot. I should really go talk to Mother, but we just fought. She doesn't want to see me, and I'm too scared to face her. What should I do?
Paimon really doesn't understand. Well, let's head back. We've got an early
All right, looks like we're all here. Let's go ahead with the plan.
Oh? What is it?
What makes you ask that?
Well, we kinda ran into Clairvy last night, and we met the doctor back in Sumeru. He's super dangerous, and he's done all sorts of bad things.
It's possible that Father and the Doctor have had certain dealings, but I don't think Father would work with him. We're not really on the same side, so there's not a lot of trust between them. That doesn't exactly set the stage for a successful partnership. I did hear, though, that when Father first became a Harbinger, the Doctor offered to work with the House of the Hearth. Father rejected most of his proposals, except for one. It had to do with some sort...
Secret experiment? Could that be what Clairvy was talking about?
I don't think so.
I don't know any details about the experiment itself, but I do know it's an entirely independent operation. The Doctor only proposed a direction for the research. That was the extent of his involvement. I still don't think that counts as working together. The details of the experiment are confidential, but complete records are kept on all participants. That doesn't seem to be the case with the situation Clairvy referred to. I know you don't agree with some of the Fatui's methods. and I'm not asking you to. But I am asking you to trust us on this. The House of the Hearth has its own principles.
Alright, that's good to hear at least. Clairvy seems to think the knave and the doctor work together to do something horrible. If that turned out to be true, Paimon doesn't know how he would even face you guys. It's just that it doesn't seem like Clairvy is lying either. The easiest thing to do would be just ask the knave directly, but Paimon doesn't think she'd tell us.
Father didn't come back last night. She's probably still near the shore. We'll be counting on you to distract her. Lynette, you're with me. Fremine, you know what to do. Be on your guard, everyone. All right, let's get to it.
Ah, it's you two again. I must say, you look a bit pale. Perhaps if you had less on your mind, you'd be able to absolve yourself of such troubles. So what are you planning to do now? Catch up on some sleep? Or should I give you some time to rack your brain for a topic to discuss? Although I must profess to being curious. Without child here, how do you plan on distracting me?
Us? Distract you? A good one. But no, we were just here for a chat.
Looks like you could have used some extra time to think. No matter. If you don't have any other plans, why don't you accompany me somewhere? Don't worry. I'll be sure to steer clear of any scheming children.
The ocean breeze is sure nice today.
Children always think they can hide things from the grown-ups. But nothing gets past me. Least of all a little scheming. I think I'll let them have at it for a little longer. Well, I'll leave you to think things over. If you're so inclined, meet me outside the Palais Mermonia. Good things come to children who do as they're told. So I do hope you decide to tag along. If only for your friends' sakes.
What should we do? She clearly knows about everything we've been doing, and Paimon doesn't think it'd be a stretch to say she was threatening us just now. Oh, good idea. Hopefully he sees it in time. Well, we should probably head to the Palais Mermonia. Paimon doesn't want to find out what happens if we don't show up. Based on what the knave was saying just now, it sure didn't seem like it'd be anything good. Okay, then we probably shouldn't keep her waiting. It seems like Lynn and the others are on thin ice, so let's do our best to not get them in any more trouble.
Seeing as we still have some time before my meeting, we might as well enjoy some pleasant conversation while we wait. I'm glad to see you get along with my children. Being surrounded by good companions is necessary for a child's development.
You're not planning on doing anything to them.
I assume you're referring to Lenny, Lynette, and Fremine. Although, there's that situation with Filial and Nentoy as well. No matter. I'm not one to discriminate. All those who betray the house meet the same fate. There are no exceptions.
Does that mean you're going to kill them?
Oh, are you here to beg for their lives? I'm sorry to disappoint, but the rules of the house change for no one. In my organization...
But don't you care about them at all? They really respect you. They even call you father. You must feel something for them.
Any organization in which feelings come before principles is one destined for ruin. The House of the Hearth is hardly an exception. You could say our principles are more stringent than most. Perhaps I can offer you this consolation at least. As our guests, you two will not be held accountable along with them. I would imagine Linny, Lynette, and Fremine will be able to keep their love. As for Filion and Toy and the others, I'm afraid there's little I can do. They can try to escape, but once you know our secrets, there's no getting out alive.
But that's awful.
Ah, you seem concerned. Out of consideration for my guests, I suppose I could turn a blind eye for a little longer. If Linny and the others manage to dispose of Clairvy in the meantime, all evidence of their wrongdoing will be lost. In that case, I could hardly punish them for something I couldn't prove. If their efforts are unsuccessful, on the other hand, all will be held accountable. And the punishment will be severe. Of course. Oh, and here, I believe this belongs to you. Do try and keep better track of it next time. It takes a considerable amount of time to train a bird like this. It would be such a pity if you were to...
Wait, where did you get that?
Well, I'm afraid that's all the time we have to chat. Now, for the matter at hand. I asked you to meet me here because I have business at the Palais Mermonia. It has nothing to do with you, but I think it would be prudent for you to stick by my side for the time being. There will always be time later to run off and tell Linny what you've learned. Well, time to go. Looks like we wrapped things up just in time. It's been a while, Monsieur Neuvillette. I must say, I wasn't expecting my meeting request to be approved quite so quickly. The Palais Mermonia operates with an efficiency worthy of admiration.
It is only right that an esteemed diplomat such as yourself should be afforded the proper level of respect. Although, if I may speak plainly, I must confess that I did not anticipate we would have the occasion to meet again after presenting you with the Gnosis. I see you brought the Traveler and Paimon with you as well. If I may inquire as to the purpose of your...
I'll be departing Fontaine shortly. There is, however, an outstanding matter that I would like to see resolved before I go. It requires a rather lengthy explanation, I'm afraid. So I took the liberty of explaining everything in this proposal.
I understand your request. However, at the risk of causing offense,
I heard you have a certain fondness for water tasting, Monsieur Neuvillette, so allow me to use water as an analogy. A family is like a large body of water with countless rivers flowing in and out. As someone who watches over this system, I would hope that each river that flows from the source will eventually reach the ocean. Of course, objectively speaking, I know this is impossible. Most of the rivers will dry up along the way, disappearing into the ground and leaving nothing but a barren riverbed behind. Not all rivers are destined to reach the ocean, but I would not see their existence rendered meaningless. I believe the water that flows within them is simply meant for a different destination, like a field in need of irrigation. Or perhaps the glass of a certain water-tasting enthusiast.
Did you get any of that, Traveler?
Your words paint an optimistic picture indeed. Allow me to remind you, however, few among us are willing to sip from a glass filled with
It may have been tainted at one point in time, but not to worry. I'll make sure it's strained of all impurities and returned to its cleanest form.
I seem to recall there being a transactional aspect to your proposal.
If you accept my proposal, Monsieur Neuvillette, I will gradually withdraw my forces from Fontaine. And, unless absolutely necessary, I will no longer carry out any special missions within Fontaine.
I presume I can take your words to mean that, in the future, cases similar to the Tartuffe assassination will cease to cross my desk?
Tartuffe. Ah, that thief who embezzled funds from all those charities, you mean? My deepest condolences to his family, but without any evidence, I cannot imagine how the House of the Hearth might have been involved in his passing. Of course, if you accept my proposal, Monsieur Neuvillette, I'm sure certain measures could be taken to reduce the frequency of such troubles.
You choose your words carefully indeed. In that case, I am inclined to accept your proposal.
My thanks for your generosity, Monsieur Neuvillette. Well, with that settled, we should be going now. I took the liberty of bringing along 2 bottles of spring water from Snezhnaya for you to enjoy. I do hope I get the chance to hear your impressions.
Indeed. I trust you would not overlook...
All right, Traveler Paimon.
So, what exactly were you talking about back there? Paimon only heard you mention some rivers, a large body of water.
You really want to know? I would imagine there might be more pressing concerns at the moment.
Winnie, Paimon really hopes everything's going okay. Oh, Paimon recognizes that look. You've got your thinking cap on, don't you, Traveler?
Oh, shoot. Are you alright? Oh, jeez. I'm so sorry. I was so focused on selling these papers, I wasn't looking where I was going. Well, let me make it up to you at least. Here, take this paper. On the house.
Это из очага, походу, чувак. Да, со
You
шрамом.
don't have to give us anything.
Please, I want to. It's not like I'm short on supply. All the extras will be useless come tomorrow. It's my fault, really. I was just trying to bring home some extra mora for the family, but I bit off more than I can chew. I haven't had many takers today, so I'm still swimming in papers.
What's going on here?
Nothing much. I just ran into your friend here on accident. I should
Hold on.
Of course, I'm happy to compensate you with Mora. It's just, I don't have any on me at the moment.
I'll take 3 papers. Here.
Oh, thank you for your patronage. May the Archons bless you with good fortune. If only I had the chance to run into such generous customers every day. I should probably just take on a smaller inventory though, right? I'm getting married soon, so sometimes it's hard to not get ahead of myself.
Well, now that my affairs are settled, we should take the boat back to Poisson. We've even acquired some light reading to enjoy along the way.
Actually, why don't we... Paimon just realized how hungry she is. She can't head back to Poisson on an empty stomach.
It appears you two are under the impression that delaying our return will somehow alter the situation in your favor. I'm sorry to ruin your fantasy, but your efforts are meaningless. That being said, I could be persuaded to give Linny some extra time. I just have one. If you agree to my request, I'll even answer some of your questions. You're quite curious about Clairvy, are you not? And my relationship to her.
Wait, why are you being so generous all of a sudden? You're not gonna ask us to do...
You overestimate yourself. You don't have the talent for bad things.
Then what?
The most important consideration in a negotiation is that both sides receive something they want. Demands and threats only get you so far. Wonderful. Here. When the time comes, make the choice that you deem most appropriate in the situation, and lend your help to the House of the Hearth.
Okay, sounds normal enough. But what do you mean?
That is for you to decide. Then we have a deal. Follow me.
Так себе, конечно, условия. Все равно, что делайте, что хотите, когда придет время. Блин. В чем смысл такого требования?
What is this place?
В доме очага, который разрушила Арлекино.
Somewhere long forgotten by everyone. It used to be a grand building. Now it's nothing more than a pile of rubble. No one comes here anymore, nor does anyone care about what once happened here. Although, this place, it was before I became a Harbinger, and before Linny and the others joined the House of the Hearth. Due to certain events, I first killed Clairvy and then her mother. And this is where it all happened.
You were the one that killed Clairvy?
Patience now. Allow me to explain Clairvy's side of the story first. I'll start from the beginning. Clairvy was 6 years old when she was brought by her mother, Crucibina, to live in the House of the Hearth. From the outside, it seemed like a fairy tale. A thriving family made up of kind adults and friendly children. Crucibina was the knave at that time, and the House of the Hearth was under her control. She was Clairvy's mother by blood, but she was also the mother to all the... Clairvy was happy here, for a time. But she quickly realized that being part of this family wasn't a fairy tale at all. It was a kind of purgatory.
Purgatory?
Exactly. The House of the Hearth takes in war orphans from all over Tevat. But as for how to raise them, that depends entirely on the person in charge. Crucibina came up with a novel idea. She would teach the children to fight, force them to duel each other, and then crown as the king of the house the child who proved themselves most worthy of inheriting her title. It's difficult to estimate the number of children who died or were maimed in the process. There's little I can say about the ones who died. The ones that emerged with permanent injuries, on the other hand, well, they still served a purpose. They would be handed over to the doctor to be experimented on, or sent away on dangerous missions. Nothing more than tools to be used and then discarded.
So those were the experiments Clairvy was talking about. But what actually happened to her? You said that Clairvy was Crucibina's daughter, so if Clairvy tried to convince her to stop what she was doing, Crucibina probably would have listened, right?
Despite being Clairvy's mother, Crucibina cared little for her daughter. She forced Clairvy to join the House of the Hearth only as a means to demonstrate her own impartiality as a mother. To prove that she treated... Clairvy did try to convince her mother to change her ways, but it was to no avail. After her efforts failed, the only other option was to rise up and try to fight back. Unfortunately, the other children had already been thoroughly indoctrinated into the illusion of happiness Crucibina had created. Of course, there was one exception. Someone Clairvy's age who knew the truth about the House of the Hearth. Her name was Peruere.
Wait, the friend that Clairvy mentioned?
Friend, huh? I suppose with... Clairvy was a cheerful and passionate person with a tenacious spirit. Peruere, on the other hand, was rather cold-blooded. Her cold-blooded nature allowed her to see through Crucibina's facade. Yet, it was also this cold-bloodedness that prevented her from acting against it. At least at first. While Clairvy longed for freedom, Peruere was convinced that, amid all the fighting and violence, she would make it until the end. Despite their differences, the two became fast friends, united by their knowledge of the truth. Clairvy told Peruere that she hoped to create a real family, where no one would be killed or sacrificed. There may have been a certain naivete to her ideas, but Clairvy proved her determination many times over. She tried countless times to run away, ask for help, or expose the truth. But her efforts only earned her beating after beating. The only thing, even with her body racked with pain, she would still stand on her tiptoes and open the window at night. She and Peruere would look out at the moon together, a fierce longing for freedom shining in her eyes. But one day,
Oh no.
her hopelessness resulted from a culmination of things. 10 years had passed. 10 years worth of failure after failure. She and Peruere weren't children anymore, but finding any chance to escape, it was during this time that Peruere suggested a new plan. If escaping was out of the question, why not take down the very person sitting on... Clairvy rejected that proposal. She claimed that, as a famous harbinger, Crucibina possessed an unimaginable amount of power. Trying to kill her would have an incredibly low... Clairvy never gave another reason, but Peruere could see it written all over her face. Clairvy still thought of Crucibina as her mother. Killing her own flesh and blood was a line she couldn't bring herself to cross. If she couldn't escape and fight back, then only one option remained. Precisely. Death was the only way that she felt she could be. It happened during a duel. When she arrived at the dueling ring that day, her partner turned out to be none other than Peruere, the very person that had stood by her side all those years. It was a fierce battle. But ultimately, Clairvy decided to let Peruere end her life. From that moment on, Peruere's journey was one written in flames. When the rain finally came and washed it all away, there she stood, the sole victor in Mother's endless game of slaughter. A trail of corpses strewn across her path to It was the very result she had predicted 10 years prior. Even then, she believed she would make it until the end. She wasn't surprised by the fact that she emerged as Mother's undisputed heir. Rather, her success left her with an inexplicable sense of restlessness. She was unsettled. And there was only one thing that could quell that sensation. Perhaps you two would like to take a guess as to what it...
Crucibina, you mean? But...
Correct. This is the place where Peruere killed her best friend. A mere year later, this is also the place where she fought tooth and nail to kill the mother they shared. The moment she acted, any conception of what was right or wrong ceased to matter. It's one of the principles of the house. Only those who survive get to write the rules. Peruere won the battle, and became a harbinger herself. After which Her Majesty, the Tsaritsa, bestowed upon her a new name.
So the Perry Clairvy was talking about... It was you all along. You're Peruere. Arлекино is just a name you got later.
I left that name behind long ago. I must say, hearing it now... After I defeated Crucibina, the moniker of Mother died with her. I chose to forego the title she called herself, and even chose to give up my own name. I rebuilt the House of the Hearth under a new identity. Not only as Arлекино, but as father. And that is where the story ends. Any more questions?
Yeah. Based on what you just told us, Clairvy wasn't a little kid when she was killed. So the Clairvy we met... Was she really a spirit at all?
I suppose you could call her an illusion born of flame. Her existence is like ashes to a fire. Something left over in the wake of You see, a certain power runs through my veins. It's not unlike a curse. My flames leave behind shadows of anything they consume. Of course, the chances of those shadows morphing into a sentient entity are exceedingly slim. Clairvy is a very special... Clairvy died when she was 16 years old. But what emerged from the flames was her 6-year-old self. Her appearance wasn't the only thing affected. Most of her memories were lost to the blaze as well. Memory is a mysterious thing indeed. Losing a portion of your memories will alter your sense of self. Lose 10 years' worth, however, and it would be like living in the past. Like returning to a
No wonder Paimon got such a weird feeling when we were talking to her.
Perhaps I should put it this way. Clairvy is someone trapped in time. It may seem like she exists with us in the present, but she truly lives in the confines of...
So if all of that is true, then you must have known about Clairvy.
Indeed. She's a rather volatile and unstable entity. Sometimes she would look after the children. She's even saved some of their lives. But other times, she would hide from me and become obsessed with revealing the truth about the house to anyone who will listen. Shadows don't have the capacity to learn or grow. Any new information they encounter, your attempts to expose Clairvy to sunlight. They failed, yes. The reason is actually quite simple. In Clairvy's mind, the house is impossible to escape, but no matter. All I have to do is kill her again, and all will be resolved. I don't anticipate so much as a single speck of ash will be left behind.
Wait! Paimon can understand why you might want her gone, but isn't there another way? So what if she's trapped in her 6-year-old self? She's still your friend! At least talk to her first!
It's too late for that. She broke the rules, and now she must be punished. That goes for Filial and Nantoy as well. She's had quite the effect on them. I hope you understand. The difference between Crucibina and myself lies in our formulation of the rules, not our policy for enforcing them. Upholding the rules without question is a trait we both share, because that is how a household should be run.
Is this really what you want to do?
Whatever could you mean?
Don't you want to say a proper goodbye at least?
Whether as a killer or as a father, there are two things that must be avoided at all costs: anger and sorrow. Anger makes you impulsive. Sorrow causes you to waver. Well, it appears it's about time to proceed. Before we arrived, I told some of my well-behaved children to bring our troublemakers here by nightfall. I do believe I've kept my end of the deal. I gave your friends quite a bit more time. As for what happens now, we'll just have to wait.
Here they are, Father.
You gonna execute him? Seeing something like that would actually be a first for Lenny!
I'm sorry. I heard about how you helped buy us more time, but I still failed. I couldn't find a way to fulfill her wish.
Huh? Are you... Perry?
Indeed, it's been a while, Clairvy.
Perry!
Shh. Stay right there. I'm sorry to postpone our reunion, but first I believe certain scores need settling.
Father, let me explain.
Out of my way.
Father!
You chose to conceal a threat to the house. And for that, you must be... Overall, however, I suppose your wrongdoing is hardly the most egregious of the bunch, so I'll deal with your punishments later. As for right now, the more pressing concerns are the
By traitors? Do you mean—
Father, let me explain. We didn't mean to—
Fultz, why don't you share what you heard?
Yes, Father. Secret Midnight Meeting number 3. Participants: Filial, Nantoy, Sato, Toddy. Nantoy clearly said, "If only Father wasn't the one who took us in." Sato added, "I'm sick of this life. I just want to live as a normal person." Filial was the worst of them all. She called us crazies and said a bunch of mean things about Father.
I did not! You're lying! Fultz is trying to frame us!
It's not like I'm the only one who heard those things. After that, you and Toddy and a bunch of other people started talking about Clairvy.
You were using all those things Clarevy brought up as an excuse to question Father. We're birds locked in a cage. The only way out is to destroy it.
You little. You just want me gone, don't you? What did I ever do to you, huh? And you, Sheplo, have you forgotten who stood by your sickbed, watched over you, and changed your dressings? Come on, let's hear it then.
You're wrong, Filiol. We don't want you to die. You're our family.
Liar. You wouldn't be doing this if that were the case. So why? Why have you backed us into a—
We all live in the House of the Hearth. You know the type of work we do, Filiol. A single betrayal can cost dozens of us our lives. It's not like it's never happened before. That kind of thing is hard to forget. That's why the House of the Hearth cannot tolerate any form of betrayal. Ever since we came to Poisson, you've had 7 secret meetings. A lot of the things you talked about really crossed the line.
You've been spying on us for half a month? Wait a second. Now that I think about it, the move to Poisson was just a way to make it easier to spy on us, wasn't it? Because we were all in one place. You've had this planned all along.
Filial, Nantoy, I owe you both my life. I owe Clarevy too. If it weren't for all your help after I got poisoned, I wouldn't be standing here today. If this were any other situation, I would do anything to repay that kindness, even if it cost me my life. But rules are rules.
Why?
That's enough, Filial. We made a mistake, and we should own up to it. We broke the rules. I'm sorry, Chapleau. Fultz. I'm sorry, Father.
Chapleau, according to the rules of the House of the Hearth, how should these traitors be—
All those who betray the house pay with their lives.
And so it shall be.
Father, please wait!
Something you want to say, Linny?
Please reconsider, Father. What Filial and the others did, does it really count as betrayal? We all come from broken families. From the very first day we joined the House of the Hearth, we wanted nothing more than to make it a real home. But the truth is, none of us know what a real home should look like. I'm not saying I have all the answers. All I know is this. Killing Filial and the others may uphold the rules, but doing so will only bring us further away. So please, Father.
I agree with Linny.
Father, please. Linny, you... I also agree with Linny.
An order once given cannot be rescinded. However, given the extent of your determination, I suppose we shall have to go about this—
Our weapons?
Father, are you referring to a duel?
Precisely. The rules of the house will not be altered. Traitors must be punished. However, resolving disputes with a duel is also one of our rules, one that also applies to me. Demonstrate a sufficient showing of strength, and I shall—
Impossible. Father is...
Блядь. Где одевайся?
Did you hear that, Traveler? Lynn and the others have to duel the knave. What should we do? Can they really? If they lose, those people from the house are really gonna be executed. Hey,
Don't you want to say a proper goodbye at least?
Anger makes you impulsive. Sorrow causes you to waver.
Oh, looking at that expression on her face, she seems really serious about this. Guess that means there's no chance she's throwing the duel on purpose, huh?
When guests are around, families are often on their best behavior. And any disputes are less likely to escalate.
When the time comes, make the choice that you deem most appropriate in the situation, and lend your help to the House of the Heart.
What's wrong, Traveler? Hey, where are you going?
Traveler?
You're asking to join the duel against the knave?
I'll allow it. We do have a ready-made dueling ring at our disposal, after all. All I would advise is this. Keep a firm grasp on your weapon, and give it your all. Any less.
Блин, команду бы поменять. А то Арлекино против Арлекино получается. Ничего, доча.
Don't be scared! Shadows of fate!
How amusing.
Долгий будет бой.
These rising flames. Is it my turn now?
Decided by destiny!
Да ничего, Варюша. Все хорошо. Я играю просто.
Everlasting as the moon.
Are you alright?
With these rising flames.
Hey, go away!
Now that's more like it.
This way, Colonel.
Try to pace yourself.
Is it my turn now?
The Temple of Wisdom!
With these rising flames.
Ай-яй-яй.
This shall who's next? Be my fate. Closer. Now our chance. With the fall of darkness, destruction shall rise.
Share my knowledge!
Have a taste of purgatory.
Father's even stronger than I expected.
Look at you. Trapped like a bunch of helpless animals. Is it my turn now?
Я не понимаю, что Арлекино не вылечилась.
If I really have to draw my blade, then
I hear the fly tangled in a web. Spare your energy. Running is of little use.
You, Blade! You're up!
Now's our chance. Closer now.
Make yourselves at home!
Look at you. Trapped like a bunch of helpless animals.
Чего ты там говоришь?
Hang in there!
Have a taste of purgatory.
Мини-монстряшка? Где?
Spare your energy. Running is of little use.
Никакую мини-монстряшку не убивал.
try to pace yourself.
Let's change tact.
How amusing.
Stay put. Oh, hit.
Now's our chance. The countdown has begun. Like a fly tangled in a web.
Мини-монстряшку не убивал, я только вот с этой тетенькой воюю. Вот она, видишь, тетенька? Вот с этой тетенькой воюю. Все. Больше никаких монстряшек я не убиваю.
Closer now.
Ай, это я зайчика позвал на помощь. Он мне помогает, этот зайчик. Видишь?
Fate is upon you.
Is it my turn now?
Blister!
Еще вторая форма у нее. Только я за ногу. Может, проще проиграть. Ой, да я убегу, как мне убежать.
Stay put!
Дали выбрать, кем сражаться. Что за ерунда там? Ну, я должен моной сражаться. Да вот персонаж Мона.
Don't be scared! That hurt real bad!
Shadows, watch out for father's movements. Look out!
Варя, отойди.
The sun and moon have set. Only ruin remains. All hope has been extinguished.
You right here!
Delve into destiny.
Committed to memory!
Now's our chance.
Over here!
Let me scribe.
Committed to memory! Make yourselves at home!
Your punishment
Stay put.
made manifest.
Мне тоже нравится. Он меня лечит очень
Watch out
хорошо.
for father's movements. Look out!
Go get it, you guys!
Now's our chance.
Over here!
И зайка? Зайка мне помог максимально. И все, выбежал. Корзинку. Яо-яо. Девочки, яо-яо.
You should know better than to crowd in one place. Oh, I know.
Привет.
I'm sorry, father.
Выбил себе Арлекино. И как бы решил, короче, побаловаться, поиграть Арлекино. Но в итоге добрался до сюжетного. Ну, короче. До самой Арлекины. И Арлекина втащила мне. В итоге я Яо-Яо и Мона и побеждал Арлекина. Вот мне дочь еще сидела здесь рядом, помогала. Да? Вот. Спойлерить не буду. В общем, лучше посмотреть заново стрим. Там все от начала практически. Да тебя, наверное, на C6 хватит.
You're stronger than I expected.
Я выбил C1. Вот, но у меня было всего 30 круток в запасе, ну и гарант, как бы, обеспечен был.
Crimson Moon. I can't move.
Still, not strong enough to beat me.
Да. ГГ опустили. Как и в этом. Как и Райден. Райден тоже опустила тогда. ГГ. Вот что-то есть какое-то сходство. Кстати, Арлекино чем-то похожа на Ахерон из
I believe we can
Сера.
end things here. It's not often that we get to enjoy the company of guests, after all. We wouldn't want things to get too out of hand.
Brother, are you...
Lenny,
Вот прикол был бы, если бы сейчас их казнили бы.
Given that I am the victor of this duel, as agreed, the punishment stands.
No!
I never thought things would end like this.
However, everyone involved in the duel demonstrated a remarkable level of strength and determination. In light of
Изгнание
this,
из
I'm
этого.
prepared to change the method of
Да
execution.
вот тетенька ходит, Арлекино. Сейчас их просто
Elwar,
изгонят.
the bottled flames I gave you for safekeeping. Do you still have them?
Yes? I wasn't sure what they were for, but I've kept them.
Wonderful. Then, in just a moment, I'll have you admit.
Bottled flames?
Indeed. They're the product of a secret experiment. Under certain special circumstances, flames can be extracted from my person. and
Молитву,
preserved.
конечно, хочу. Круток много не бывает. Мне надо как раз выбить эту косу. Да, Варя, там храм. Надо там... Ключика нету, чтобы его открыть. Ну, поскольку у меня C1 есть, мне пока хватит. Я хочу ей выбить косу. Думаю, там эта молитва не сработает.
Давай тогда это хозяина храма.
Хозяина храма? Я хозяин храма. Надо только ключик найти.
Once ingested, searing pain will spread across every inch of your body. No harm will come to you physically, but if you can withstand the pain. When you awake, you'll have forgotten everything you know about the House of the Hearth, and will be expelled from the organization.
То есть в конце сказать, принеси свой сигнал, что нам так нужна.
In other words, administering this concoction will kill the version of you that grew. Memory is a
Блин,
mysterious
уже
indeed.
спойлеры пошли.
Losing a portion of your memories will alter your sense of self.
Так, Варя, ты давай-ка одевайся, а то это... Остынешь. Ну вот, слава богу. Что человеку не спойлерю. Сюжет.
So, you're just...
You misunderstand. Memories are extremely important.
Это
Once
что, уже с
consumed
утра
by
прошел,
flame,
что
the
ли?
version of you standing before me
Ну
will die,
правильно, я только в
and our
4 начал
secrets will die
играть.
with you.
Even so, I'm sorry, Father. I'm sorry I let you down. But I really...
Don't cry, Philly. You haven't left the house yet, so there are still rules to be followed, yes. Remember what I taught you. Anger makes you impulsive, sorrow causes you to waver. Don't let yourself be controlled by your emotions.
Of course. I'll remember.
Уходить не хочет из семьи.
Что ли, мама дочки, да?
Да, это дочка вот этой вот Арлекино.
Dry your tears and go pursue the life you really want.
Это дочка Арлекины, да?
Да, не Арлекино, а Арлекино.
Yes, Father.
Chaplot, Foltz, Elwar. Take them back to Poisson. And bring... I prepared 3 extra vials of bottled flames. As for whether to take them, the choice is yours. Goodbye, children. The next time we meet, I will no longer be your father. Thank you for all you've done for the house.
Так, иди одевайся.
I hope you have bright futures
Что
ahead.
значит нет?
Ответ.
Да, теперь будет о чем, так сказать, сплетничать. Все, что сплетничает, соберет Михуё, вернее, Хуеверс, и сделают новый контент на основе сплетен.
На основе гу. На основе гу.
Father.
Let's go.
Да,
Она... Ну,
если кажется, что она кому-нибудь там оттерла память. Так, звонят. Слушай. Здравствуйте. Ага, хорошо. Извини.
почему мальчик?
Да, видел про нее короткометражку.
А почему мальчик обязательно пошел писем? Почему?
Вот, домой пошел.
Thank you.
Никак.
И пошел, да?
Он должен
Клэрви.
пойти. А, ну на сестру забыть.
Иди, одевайся. Замерзнешь, остынешь. Давай. Варя,
Нет.
давай.
Can
Давай,
we
давай.
talk now?
Чу.
I've been waiting for a super long time. You really are Perry, aren't you?
У тебя
I
есть
haven't
Пикачу,
seen you
иди.
in so long. How come you're all
Да,
grown up?
то хорошо. Ой,
Wait, did I somehow travel to the future on accident? Or am I dreaming? What a long dream.
Neither. You died, Clairvy. That's what happened.
You could have at least sugarcoated it a little. Look, she's done speechless.
Oh,
Huh? That's it? You accepted it just like that?
yep. If that's what Perry says happened. Plus, I don't really need to know why I'm like this. I'm more curious about what happens in the future. If you're a harbinger now, Perry, that means, Muff, can you tell me about it? I want to know what happened to her.
You never stopped trying to defy fate. At first, no one believed you. You could only vent your frustrations to the moon. In fact, you often sought comfort in the night sky. You wanted to see the aurora, so one night we promised each other we would go to Snezhnaya to see it together.
она вообще очень интересная. Она то советы какие-то из ниоткуда появляются. Особенно про духов. Как она сказала, вот типа надо помочь духу, и тогда он идет в артерии земли. То есть она что-то знает о мироздании. Так, иди одевайся.
Later on, you tried to run away, but you were brought back each time. Mother spared your life, but it wasn't out of kindness. Instead, she decided to make an example. Still, you never gave up. Mother hoped that through ruthless duel after ruthless duel, she would be able to crown an ultimate victor among the children she raised.
Да, да, это, мне кажется, уже замыленная тема. Короче, она сейчас по третьему разу расскажет историю, которую, то есть, в короткометражке видели, потом сейчас прослушали, раскрыли, и сейчас она еще раз подтвердит.
But you
Так,
called
ну
on
ты призвала
everyone to
детей
unite,
объединиться.
to
Мгм.
fight to a draw in order to reduce casualties. You tried everything you could think of, but every attempt ended in failure. Still, you never turned your sword on Crucibina, and you never turned it on me. For the last 16 years of my life, I've done everything I can to fight for freedom. But now,
I never imagined I would say something like that. I must have been feeling really worn down, but somehow, I still think I understand. According to Mother's plan, only one of us was going to make it until the end. And I always hoped if I could do it all over again, I still don't think I would make a different choice. Even when I first met you, I knew—
is that so? Even now, I'm not sure but as the head of the House of the Hearth and as the children's father, I've tried to give them the most basic of freedoms. The freedom to choose their own fate. It's something I discussed with the Eudex of Fontaine. The children who want to leave the house will have their memories wiped clean of all secrets pertaining to the organization. In return, they will be allowed to live a normal life in Fontaine without being prosecuted for their past.
То есть, подожди-ка. То есть, все-таки стер память все-таки Нёвелет? То есть она говорит, я договорилась об этом с Юдексом Фонтейна, воспоминания те, которые пожелают покинуть дом, будут очищены от всех наших секретов. И они смогут жить. То есть мне что-то кажется, что это не под силу Арлекино. Скорее всего, это сделал Нёвелет.
Of course, I won't simply hand freedom to them on a silver platter. They have to fight for it and prove themselves worthy of it. Only freedom that is earned has true value.
Ну, это я понял. Просто хрен знает, короче. Может быть, только об этом, да, но... Может, она еще договорилась о том, чтобы он водой стер память. Черт его знает. Нет. Ну ладно.
That's more than enough. That's exactly the kind of life I was— You know, Perry? I think you're a pretty amazing— I'm really happy that you're the one who took over the house. I guess I do have one regret, though. I still haven't seen the outside world.
Well, it just so
Блин,
happens that our dear
опять вот
guests over here have been to many nations and traveled
очищают, так
countless
сказать,
places. Perhaps they would be willing to
персонажа.
tell you what the outside world is like.
Где Игра престолов? Я хочу чернухи. Надо было, наоборот, жестоко ее сделать. А получилось, что вроде как...
Really? Of course! We've traveled all over the place. We've got so many stories, we could probably talk your ears
Нехорошо.
off for 3 days straight.
Сказка сказкой остается. Да, жесткая, я бы сказал бы, а не жестокая. Но жестокая была в прошлом. То есть, потому что прошлое жестокое было. Ну, кого-то там убило, ну, так себе. Ну да, я тоже так думаю, что у них слишком... Так, так пусть будет.
Yokai you mentioned. What do they look like? I once saw a drawing of this one guy with horns on his head and a super scary face.
Oh, sounds like you're talking about an Oni. Yep,
You know, I used to playing the lute while singing into the... Ah, that's where Mora comes from. I never knew that if I had some Mora, I would buy 3 new dresses. It's just too bad Perry doesn't like wearing dresses. And Mother...
О, это, короче, походу, костюмчик будет.
I guess I just have to keep them all
Платье
for me then.
для Арлекино. Намек, намек.
I was always too afraid to skip Mother's fighting lessons. But at the academia, I bet you could do all sorts of... I'm just kidding. Being able to study whatever you want.
Что, заяц?
Having to fear for your life.
Подойди
Actually,
сюда.
sounds pretty great.
The situation was super dangerous. Lenny and Lynette were accused of committing a crime.
Oh no!
Don't worry, we were able to turn the situation around super quickly. Thanks to the...
How'd you do that? Come on, tell me!
Okay, so it was like this. After the failed magic show, we...
Shadows don't have the capacity to learn or grow. Any new information they encounter is quickly forgotten over time.
Ну что, прикольно все равно. Надо, чтобы в следующем сюжете добавили ее очки с усами.
Clairvy, you've worked tirelessly from the shadows to overthrow the House of the Hearth. Now, by my authority as the Knave, I shall announce how this matter ends. You are hereby expelled from the House
Да,
of the
кстати,
Hearth. You are no
было
longer
бы прикольно.
tied to this place, nor are you bound by its rules.
You're saying that I can finally leave? I get to experience the outside world as well? Oh, I almost forgot. There's no getting older for me. Still, seeing who you grew up to be makes me really happy, Paraware. Take care of yourself. Goodbye.
May we meet again someday.
Не знаю, посмотри под диваном. Может, под диваном он лежит?
Там другие-то.
Ты все достань и посмотри, может быть, где-то лежит.
Clairvy,
Может, здесь под диваном?
She left so soon. Paimon didn't even get to finish her story.
Нету, значит, у тебя в комнате где-то. Ищи. Внимательно. Может, на кухне?
I wanted to tell her that the aurora I saw in
Да иди
Snezhnaya
ищи.
is just as beautiful as the ones in the pictures.
Иди лучше ищи, давай.
But a shadow's memories reset at dawn. Had we delayed any longer, we wouldn't have had the time to say goodbye. Whatever regrets may linger, let them be lost to the coming of a new day.
Father?
It's Linny! Hey, Linny! What is he doing
Мне
back
было бы
here?
прикольно,
Let's
если
go check
бы
it out.
персонажей, которых, ну, кто-то повыбивал, их взяли бы и казнили бы. как вроде как был такой опыт в Ханкай Сёрт.
Father, the bottled flames have been administered. Filio and the others have left the
Ну, ну
house.
да, эту как ее Тиньюнь, Тинтюнь, как ее. Ну, я вот не помню,
And you,
что в Геншин
what have you
кого-то
decided?
валили.
Я нашла второй этап.
Да, Тиньюнь.
Ты мне
Молодец. Еще себе штучку, да, эту повесила, бантик. Молодец. Хорошо выглядишь.
что хотела постель этом.
Мгм, по стилю, да? Вот подходила. Мгм, молодец.
И вот
Thank you for
надела
giving us that choice,
не
Father.
такой бантик, который
We
розовый
never
просто.
wanted to leave the house. It's the only home we've ever
У
known.
него на лице.
Lynette and Fremine feel the same way.
Это у него татуировка в виде
They're
слезы.
recuperating back at the Hotel Bouffe d'été. But I
Мгм.
decided to come back and tell you where we stood.
I'm sure you're well aware of the expectations I have for
Зачем
you. I want you to follow in my footsteps and become the next king of the house. Yet
коричневая,
you seem
а
to have
не
different ideas.
Так,
Так.
хорош тут бормотать. Давай иди, играй все в комнату. Ну, может, конечно, грим сценический. Мне почему-то кажется, что это либо родимое пятно, либо татуировка.
Либо тут оборвав.
I must admit, I'm rather surprised by your decision to stay. There's nothing wrong with choosing to live a quiet life. Leading this
Слышь,
organization is a heavy responsibility.
I just never understood what you saw in me.
You're
Всё.
brave,
Где
talented,
наушники?
and, most importantly, you cherish your family.
Где твои наушники?
Да.
Я не знаю, поищи.
You would do anything to protect them, even if it costs you your...
Так, мне надо этого голема или кого-то там отлупить. А
Speaking
то у
of that,
меня
there was so
Арлекино
brave
не
of you, Vinny.
прокачанная.
It's all thanks to you that we were able to convince Father to back.
You're a hero, Linny.
Да, кентавра или кого-то там.
Hero.
То мне
Father is the
Арлекино
true hero.
по своей копии
Father gone all
втащила
out during the duel. I'm not deserving
один
of
раз
You're
и все.
wrong. In my opinion, we may have different ideas of what it means to be a family,
А,
but
включи
you can
музыку
hardly be
мне.
said to lack conviction. What you truly lack is strength.
Давай
For
включу.
someone of your talent, though, that's something that will come with time.
Варя, на.
Я постелила такой.
Even without that strength, you still chose to face me in a duel, even though the
Father.
no one knows what the future holds.
Так, ну как обычно
what
надо
tragedy or
воды
triumph
кучу
may
в
be in
конце.
store. Being at the head of this organization requires the... If reaching a certain standard were required to go after what you want, strength may decide the ultimate victor, but those who let a lack of strength dictate their decisions or undermine their convictions will never be worthy of the throne.
I understand, Father.
Children must grow up to surpass their parents. Only then, the road ahead is not an easy one. So I'll ask you...
You've done so much for me, Father, and that kindness must be repaid. Protecting my family at all costs.
Then you're welcome to stay. As for Project Stuja, you need not be too concerned. If those cowardly businessmen and heartless dignitaries try to take us down, I'm prepared to... Having members who longed for the light was our organization's last weakness. With those members no longer among our ranks, the House of the Hearth is like a spider hiding in the shadows. We need only wait for our prey to come to us. At present, our imperative is to use their plan to our advantage. In doing so, a crimson moon shall rise amid the frigid blizzards of winter. No demonstration of loyalty shall go unrewarded, and as for the two of you, whether we meet again as friend or foe, I'll remember the camaraderie we shared in this moment. No matter how arduous the journey ahead, I hope we both reach our desired destination.
Так. Где кентавр, сука? Ты чё, блин? Куда спрятали кентавра? Так, ладно, подождать 2 дня. Давай вот так вот. Господи. Вот почему здесь нету бага, как в этом? Как в Скайриме. Отвел время, нажал буковку F, а потом это размотал обратно сам. И время промоталось бы. Тут надо ждать. Так, это что? Это не надо мне этого. Господи, что за глюки? Буф ТТ. У меня уже 160. Блин, все заполнилось. Так. Здание легенд. Ты там сама собой?
Не так лечу, скорее было как бабушка Галина.
Lynette, Fremine, how are you feeling?
Much better.
What a relief.
What about you? Are you feeling alright?
I knew you'd come out unscathed. Us, on the other hand, well, we've been bedridden. Oh, and I wanted to... Linny and the other members have left Poisson and returned to the House of the Hearth. According to him, there haven't been any more sightings of a spirit roaming the house.
Зарядить наушники, разрядились?
Не сама шутить.
Разрядились, да?
Да.
Отнеси на кухню. Зарядим там.
I see.
I'm glad. Father came to check up on us 2 days ago and told us about what happened with Crusabina and Clairvy. Actually,
Wait, what? You've met the former knave?
Crusabina died a year after Clairvy. It was during the year between their deaths that I joined the house. Crusabina had an extremely cruel and radical way of doing things while she was alive. When I joined, though, the experiment she valued so much had already come to an end, and all the people involved, dead and injured alike, were gone. Crusabina never talked about the past with us newcomers. A couple of months after I joined, Father killed Crusabina and burned all her files. With that, the names of all the people subjected to her experiments, Clairvy included, were lost to the flames, along with the painful...
Father took in Lenny and me a couple months after that, but she never mentioned anything about Crusabina or Clairvy.
Мне чем-то напоминает Снежная, короче, этот... в Fallout организация, которая устраивала пытки подпольно. Как это? Анклав. Анклав.
It really seems like something she was planning
Да,
to
да,
keep
да,
to
да, да,
herself.
да, да.
The last time you talked to her, did she mention why she kept it a secret for so long?
She said she didn't want us to be affected by the darkness of the past. She was worried we'd develop a false sense of gratitude towards her if we knew about it. The foundation of a family should be free of any corrupting influence. Whatever happened in the past, it has nothing to do with who we are now. And that's what Father told us in the end.
But I still thanked her for everything. It was only after hearing about what Crucibina did
И вот там
that I
кто-то меня
finally
хватает.
realized how insignificant our lives could have been.
Дядя.
Так,
The members
хватит
of the
там.
house meant nothing to her.
Ой,
To say that
ты.
she valued them in any way, even just as a tool, would probably be giving her too much credit.
Давай за руку берись.
Да-да-да.
За руку берись. Вот, за руку. Не за пальцы, за руку. Вот тут вот. Во. Рукой. Вот так вот.
Там
Father hadn't taken over the house of the hearth, I probably would have already.
Father rarely brings up the fact that she saved us. She doesn't believe
Давай
that
ещё
being
раз.
indebted to her should be what ties us together.
Чего?
Еще раз.
Нет.
Там козявки напёханы. Ай, у меня козявки на плите готовы.
But
Я,
even if we
скажем
didn't
так,
owe
не
her
такой,
anything,
это,
we would still choose to stay.
не очень хорошо знаю
Because this is our
события
home.
Fallout, но вот, ну, вот минимум, так сказать, из-за вновь вышедшего, так сказать, сериала, я вот вспомнил что-то. В общем, поэтому, как бы, анклав, ну, это на поверхности, так сказать. Все, что у меня, наверное,
Arguments or times when we feel
этот
wronged. Some people
анклав,
may
синты,
even choose to
вот
leave.
это вот институт, вот это то, что на поверхности, это я помню. Да, анклав — это правительство США. Получается, ну, не совсем правительство, там получается правительство плюс вот это теневое правительство. Институт еще вот этот. Варя, да хоть кричать. У меня микрофон тут. Не кричи, пожалуйста.
Ну не играешь так.
Так иди поиграй. Что-нибудь нарисуй. Варя, сама найди себе чем заняться.
Конструктор.
Мы не будем же, не буду же я постоянно тебя развлекать. Давай, иди тебе. Вот. Иди поиграй в конструктор.
Нет, у меня... Я хочу...
Whether the path before us is bathed in
Ну
sunlight,
давай, иди. Конструктор и пазл.
we'll follow Father wherever she chooses to go.
Я когда тебя зову гулять, ты не идешь. Угу.
Да, блин.
So I wanted to say thank you for helping us make it through this crisis.
Oh, we didn't do anything, really.
Of course, you're wel-
Are Filio and Nantoy okay?
I actually saw them at a they didn't recognize me. From what I could tell, they
Да,
seemed happy. If I had to take a guess,
Они выглядели счастливыми, у них неожиданно появилось жилье, где жить. Удивительно. То есть бывшие убийцы стали гражданами, просто забылись и... Да, Валтек и вот эти вот все Робка и как он там... Да, институт, да, это собрание, ну, синты, грубо говоря. Вот, ну, такое, на поверхности как бы. Ну и этот, как этот, Калифорнийская республика, еще помню. Вот, а так, минитмены, вот. А, ну да, возможно. Ну, просто я говорю, так себе. Не особо помню все. Ну, только то, что на поверхности есть, вот то помню, то знаю. Вот, и поэтому даже недавно стал перепроходить этот Fallout 4. Ну так, не сильно увлекаюсь, конечно, но я что-то не очень понимаю. Я сейчас вот прошел квест. А, ну, получается, босс, наверное, появится в доступе, да, сейчас? Необходимое задание. А, тень на Петрику. Это новая локация, да? Новая локация. А где новая локация? А, вот она, ёперный театр. Нифига себе. А слона-то мы и не заметили. Нормально. Вот куда надо было идти, короче. Так. Моб-группа. Так, как туда пробраться? А, вот. Понял. Да? Зашибись. Нет, нету телепорта открытого. А, в смысле, телепорт где-то он стоит. Оттуда, откуда я прыгнул, да? А, ясно. Ясно, ясно. Это ж надо. Петрикор. Так. Замечательно. А, где? Карта у меня. Ладно. Нет, не ладно. Надо все закрывать. Где Хойо Лаб? Карту надо закрыть. Когда эту. Там наверняка куча этого скрытого. Но так себе, конечно. Не сильно густо. Мне хватит побаловаться. Это поклониться статуе. Ничего нету. Достижение какое-то сходу. Так, зачем мне готовить? Да. Вот почему я не люблю пироэлемент иногда. Что? Клей не хочет клеить. Может, он потому что высох? Может быть, ты плохо это закрывала? Неплохо закрывала, да? Ну, заяц, да не знаю почему. Не могу сказать. Ладно, пожалуй, перенесу на вечер стрим попозже. Часов на 9. Пока дочкой займусь. Сейчас надо ее покормить. Блин, обыдно? Надо это-то, да. Это все, короче, для голема. Ладно, я еще раз прочитаю потом. Ладно, до вечера, если будешь на стриме. Вот.